Hi everyone, this is Lisa from thechristiansinglewoman.com, and I just recently read Max Lucado's latest book entitled Fearless, and wanted to create a quick video to encourage all the Christian single women out there that may be fearful of this season of singleness. So if you'd like to read my review of Max's latest book, you can click on the link here to my left and your right. And I'll highlight, some of the things that I thought was actually quite reassuring and encouraging in his book. But in this video, I'm going to share some tips on how you can become a fearless Christian single woman. So, the first item on the list would be to team up with God. And what I mean by that is to make sure that your prayers are aligned with God's Word, as opposed to just praying, those aimless prayers. Make sure that you're praying God's word, because God honors his word. So not just, oh Lord, I'm tired of being single, please send me a husband, but God, your word says that if I delight myself in you, you would give me the desires of my heart. But you also got to make sure that you're doing your part. So you got to make sure that you're doing the delighting as well. But make sure that your prayers are aligned with God's word. Next is to reevaluate your priorities or your list. And I know that every single woman out there knows exactly what I'm talking about, because we all have those lists that identifies all the characteristics and attributes that our potential husbands must have in order to be considered. So I want to ask that you remove those superficial characteristics that you have on your list, tall, dark, and handsome, or whatever it may be, what's on your list. But make sure that you add some things to your list that are going to lead to a solid foundation for a strong Christian marriage. You need to have things on there that are biblically based. You want someone that is going to love God with his whole heart, is going to, honor and cherish you, love you with his whole heart, love you as Christ loved the church. You want somebody who, honors God's word as well as honors his word, who's trustworthy, respectful as well as respectable. So just make sure that you have some characteristics on your list that are biblically based and that are going to help lead to a strong Christian marriage. Next thing on the list is to utilize this time to strengthen your relationship with Christ. So right now in your season of singleness, you don't have the commitment of a marriage relationship. And so there is time that you could be using to grow and mature in your relationship with Christ. You can also utilize this time to, more clearly communicate to your family and friends, what specifically it is that you're looking for in a husband. And that should be a little easier now that you have reevaluated your list and added some things that are a bit more biblically based. So, make sure you utilize this time to be doing those things. The next on the list would be submitting to God's will and timing. And though this may not be popular, it definitely is a necessity. So, definitely praying according to God's word, reevaluating your list, but you also have to submit and not just, run after, the first man that comes your way, but, make sure that you're in God's will and make sure that you are waiting on his timing and not just settling because you're tired of being single. So, also consider the fact that, submitting is, allowing God the opportunity to mold you into the woman of God that he would have you to be, into the wife, the mother that he would have you to be. And not only you, but he's also molding your husband. And so know that, he's molding both of you for the opportunity, building, all the things within you that you would need to come together and to make a marriage work and to, go forth and build the ministry that he's calling you to. Okay. Last, but certainly not least on the list is to train or prepare yourself for marriage. No reason why you should not be preparing for marriage during this season. Talking with married Christian women about, what it really takes to be a Christian wife, what it really takes to have a good, solid Christian marriage. And then also remember, a part of your training is learning how to treat your future husband. And your training ground right now just happens to be those who are closest to you. So that's your family and your friends. And so how you treat them is likely going to be reminiscent of how you will treat your husband. So you can practice those things now, and look at, what are some of the things that you need to be modifying and changing in your life in order to, help you have a good, healthy marriage. So that's my quick list of things to help you become a fearless Christian single woman. So if you were paying close attention to all of those tips, it's an acronym for trust. And that really ultimately is how you become a fearless Christian woman. It's by trusting God. Trusting God more allows you to fear a little bit less about this state in your life, in your current season of singleness. So that's all for today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.